I'd like to show you how to create a portfolio using just Google. Now, the portfolio that we would create would be your name portfolio, and it would have an artwork page where you have artwork that you've completed and a description including the medium, the title, the size, and the date. So we are going to demonstrate how from creation of an image all the way to completion of a portfolio, how to do this. So if we start out by creating an image, we'll just do this online using some of the web tools that we have used in the past. So one of the web tools we've used in the past is weavesilk.com. And you know from WeaveSilk that if you just click on the screen and drag with your color chosen, you can create an image. If you drag fast, you will get more straight lines. If you drag slowly, you'll get more curvy lines. All right, so we're going to use one of these as a demonstration. And remember, in WeaveSilk, you can adjust your symmetry and all those settings right over here. All right, so we're going to save picture. So I hit this button. Now, if you're on a PC, you right-click. If you are on a Chromebook, you Alt-click, meaning hold down the Alt button and click. And if you are on a Mac, it's Control-click. You're going to choose Save Image As and save it on your computer. You can also right-click, Alt-click, or Control-click. And by the way, my image is saving in my downloads folder. I can see that here. And you can name it I recommend you name it. All right, so you also copy it. So you right click, control click, or alt click. So again, right click on a Windows based machine like Glovano or some of the other Windows based machines, you right click. If it's a Chromebook, you hold down Alt and click. And if it's a Mac, you control click and you choose copy image. Now, back in Google, log in as your email address. Your school has provided you with a Google email, or you can log in with your own. And then in here, you go to Docs. And if you haven't already made a Google Doc for all your artwork, please do that. Start out with a blank document. And that blank document, name it your name artwork. Now, of course, you're going to name it your name, like not Yourname. You're going to write your name there. Then double click up at the top in the margin, write your name again, and the word portfolio. And you can make this a nice title by putting it in the title formatting. And then I would insert a horizontal line so that your name portfolio shows up at the top of each page. And again, I double clicked in the margin to get there. Now, if I double click down below, then I can then paste my image in. And then every time you bring an image in, you always want to label it with a title. You always want to name it with a medium. So you have your title and title case, and your medium means the tools that you use to create it. So if you used a pen and ink to draw something, you'd write pen and ink on paper. If it was digital imaging online like this, you call it digital imaging using, and then whatever tool you use. So we give credit to weavesilk.com. And so we put that in the medium. The size you can put for your digital imagery actual, but if you've hand drawn it or painted, put the size that you created it. So a regular sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11. So if you're not sure and you put it on a regular sheet of paper, you could put 8.5 by 11. And that would be written like this, 8.5. And then inches is written with a quotation mark. Then you put X for by, and then 11, and then inches is written by with quotation marks. So in the United States here, we've got the 8.5 by 11 standard paper size. So you could use that. And then you put your name and the date you created it. And so again, it was title, medium, size, and by and the date. So that information should also be on a website and on a Google set of photos. So as you create different artworks, so we'll do one more. We'll do one in, say, a photo mosaic. We created a mosaic in class in Mosaically. Again, we hit create, and then you could have done your own mosaic using your own photos, or you could choose something they provide. And there's more photos there. And then you create it. And each software that you create things in, you can then share it. So in this case, I'm just editing it, I'm saving it, and there's a place where it says share. Now, especially in this artwork, so some artworks like this, you have an occasion where you really have to go to the website to see it and appreciate it, because as this thing renders, it from this distance, it really just looks like a mosaic of a plane, but as you zoom in, then you see it's made out of images of families and mothers and children and things like that. So you really need a web link as well. So some artworks that you do, like animations or things like that, you want to have your link to it. So like if you did something in Scratch or another website like that. So you can screenshot your work. So if you have a PC, you would hold down the Windows button and hit print screen, and that would screenshot it. You can also, on a Chromebook, and I will go out of full screen to show you this. On a Chromebook, you have these two buttons, the control button and the shift, control and shift right here. And you have the multiple windows button right here. And, or window switcher is the probably correct way of saying this button. It looks like little rectangles on top of each other. So you could take a full screenshot by holding down control and hitting the window switcher. But if you hold down control and shift, then you can click and drag over your image and get part of it. So you would want to go to this button to resize it, and then this button to go full screen. So then you can click and you can drag over your artwork, holding down control, shift, and window switcher. If you're on a Mac, it's Command Shift 4, and then you draw a box around the part you want to keep. All right, so I have saved this on my computer, and I'll just call it something. All right, so once you've gotten your image in, but you also, what I was trying to tell you is you want to be able to see it as an actual link where you can zoom in and look at it closely. So we highlight, in this case, our link, and we copy it. Command C on a Mac or Control C on a PC or Chromebook. And then back in your artwork portfolio, you would go in and you would put the link. You would copy the previous titling that you did and paste it. And then you could go in and edit that so it has a new title, and a new medium. So the medium that we just used for that was mosaically.com, not Weavesilk. All right, so I adjusted the medium and adjust the title, and then I put I just dragged the link right here into the title. Now, if you wanted to make it actually behave as a link, you can press Control K or Command K on a Mac, and that will apply the link. Now we need to put in the image. So I click above my label and I go Insert, Image, Upload from the computer, or if you're on a Chromebook, it may have saved in your drive and you could insert from drive. So I know I put that last one in my downloads folder. All right, and so I've got it in there. You can also, once something's in there, you can resize it. Right, and so you see we have two images here in our regular Google document. So you understand now, hopefully, how to make your name artwork, and then you might want to name it portfolio right there in a Google Doc. The next step is we're going to do the same thing in a website and on Google Photos. So you would make a new tab and type photos.google.com, photos.google.com. And we would want to upload any photos. Now you could take some photos on your computer by holding things up to your web camera and taking a photo, or you can use a cell phone. But we're going to upload photos and drawings from the computer. So I'll just choose this one for now to start me out. I'm uploading to the Google Photos site, and whenever it does that, it gives me this window where I can create an album. It shows me what I uploaded and I can create album. So I hit new album and we would name it Your Name Portfolio. Probably want to put artwork portfolio. All right. And so then we're going to go ahead and add some more into that album. I would want to add more by hitting add photos. You'd select all the photos you have on your computer that are artworks that you've done. And I'm just going to choose one more here for now so I don't waste your time. Sometimes you have things saved under your pictures folder or whatever. Now you would hit check if you're done with that. And if you click on the photo, oops, by the way, if you lose your photos tab, you can just go in, which looks like what I did accidentally. You can go into your Google Apps button from your Google screen and you hit photos. And then you can go down here to albums. And then you can see your name, artwork, album. And then if you wanted to add more photos, you could do that here. We could then share the album. And I recommend you create a link and hit that create link button. It's going to load a link, copy that link, and then go back into your Google document and double click at the top of your portfolio and insert that link at the top of the portfolio. You can actually turn it into a working link by pressing Control K. Later, we will get you a link that doesn't look so, I don't know, hard to reproduce, something that's easier to remember. All right, so you have seen how we can create a portfolio in a Google document, and we've seen how to create a portfolio as an album under Google Photos. So the next video that I create will be how to create an artwork portfolio using Google Sites.